It's 6 p.m. Central European Summer Time, but it's also 5 p.m. or tea time in England. So good afternoon or nearly good evening to everyone. Also good morning or good evening for the people are watching the recording. I'm Gennaro, a North or west-sided of Milan neuroradiologist, and today I'm so happy to have an international guest, Susie Shelmerdine from England, that will start answering the usual question of this live. Susie, is radiology beautiful? Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I am so pleased to be here on this channel. Thank you so much for inviting me. My name is Susie Shelmerdine. I am a consultant children's radiologist based in London in UK, and also an honorary associate professor at the Institute for Child Health, affiliated with UCL in London, UK. I do both clinical and academic work, and most of my academic work is a mixture of postmortem imaging and AI, although not necessarily together, but two separate topics of very much interest for me. So, is radiology beautiful? I think the only answer for that is yes, 100%. It's very beautiful. I think the most beautiful thing about it is just how incredible it is to be able to see inside people without having to cut them open. I remember when I was a junior doctor and I first qualified, I used to go into surgery with the surgeons. And when they opened up people, I was fascinated to look inside and see what was happening. And then I discovered radiology, where you can look into everything and you don't even have to, scrub up or wear scrubs or like clean your hands. You can just see it all so quickly, so beautifully. And the images, I know, is probably the most obvious thing that people think about when they say, is it beautiful? Of course, the images are spectacular, but not just images of normal anatomy. Of course, we are all beautiful inside and outside, but even looking at disease, and I know that sounds strange. How can disease be beautiful? It's horrible. It's killing people. But sometimes the patterns it makes, the way your body's fighting back, the organization of everything is really quite beautiful. I've seen pictures where I thought, wow, this cancer looks beautiful, which sounds strange, but just looking at it, I even thought if I could frame it and put it on the wall, it's like a work of art. And I think sometimes it makes you feel quite philosophical about life, about disease, about death, about how your body is interacting with challenges. It can all be very beautiful, even if it may be quite destructive sometimes.
Oh, well, it's a wonderful speech regarding radiology by you, and I appreciate so much, even because I'm totally with you. I think that watching, reading our examinations are a full immersion inside the person. We are exploring and reporting, even evaluating. And one of the most beautiful part of the radiology is that you can watch and examine anatomy in a living people. And it's so strange because we are used to learn anatomy on cadaver or drawing, and now we can watch, we can admire even the beautiful of human body in a living person without make any cut on this, and it's also an important part because I think that radiology must be part of anatomy study in the first years of the medical school. I'm even trying to write a commentary or an opinion paper on that. So I'm so happy that you started this conversation regarding the beautiful of radiology, and even the importance of to study the pattern, and it's a sort of investigation. We are trying to do like a detective, I'm speaking with a London-based person, so it's used to try to investigate, and it's good, even because we are a clinician, and we have to take all the pieces of a puzzle, and sometimes it's up to us to make diagnosis. What do you think about? Are you still hearing me?
Yes, sorry, I was just something just popped up on my screen.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
I agree with you. We are problem solvers. We do need to use the imaging to answer a question and also to try to explain what to happen next. Sometimes not all the questions can be answered with the imaging, as magical as it may sometimes appear to be. I think I really like your idea about making sure that all medical students have some radiology training in their studies, because as doctors, you're going to be treating patients, and I think it's almost impossible for a patient to come into hospital and not have some imaging at all done, whether it's an ultrasound or X-ray or CT. It's something that everybody at some point will have at least one imaging scan, even if you're healthy, right? Because of cancer screening studies, you'll always be imaged anyway at some point in time.
Yeah, definitely, especially in the last period. In my hospital, I have to report several normal patient. Luckily, a normal examination for luckily for the patient, but and it's all there are all examination that could be useful in the future for even for the patient. I noted that just yesterday that one normal scan 3 years ago in a patient that developed a head and neck tumor. It has been very useful for me because there is a radiolucent lesion on C2 on C spine, and I was unsure regarding a possible metastasis or not. Luckily, I had a previous scan, and it was totally normal, so it was easy for me to detect a metastasis regarding it. So even for the patients, it's important always to give us the most possible all the examination, and even the most unuseful can be at a certain point useful, like in the TV series of true crime, when you could say, or they are showing me that thing. It will be useful at a certain point.
Yes, I completely agree. Although we do need to balance that with obviously not wasting our resources and doing scans for everybody. But I agree that sometimes a normal scan can be very useful just psychologically for a patient to feel reassured. In my post-mortem work, we used to do a lot of scans of babies that have been stillborn. And even if we don't find a cause for why that happened, the parents say to us, oh, you know, it's just so reassuring that it wasn't our fault, or that somebody didn't miss something, or we didn't push harder to get more scans. We just want to know that we did everything right. And at the end of the day, it was just bad luck, you know, unfortunately. So sometimes a normal scan can be hugely reassuring and help people psychologically get through their problem too.
Yeah, I heard this feeling, especially when I performed ultrasound. I was a former sonographer. And a lot of time I had people that more than diagnosis of a physical condition, they need to talk and to receive some good words by us. But you already highlighted your field, and especially the pediatric radiology. It's a very important and so specific subspecialty in radiology. Can you can you tell us why the decision to be a pediatric radiologist?
Yes, well, I had a great experience doing pediatrics, pediatric medicine in medical school. I had such great teachers, and it was just so much fun. And being on a pediatric ward in pediatric hospitals, it's not the same as a normal hospital. All the walls are brightly colored. There's so many cartoons. People are always trying to keep children in a good mood, and they're so positive a lot of the time. They want to play, they want to chat to you, they want to talk to you. And so I found it very uplifting when sometimes medicine can be quite depressing, unfortunately, when you're surrounded by people who are very sick. So when I came into doing radiology, I was struggling to decide what subspecialty to choose. I liked everything. And so I wanted a specialty that was uplifting, positive, but still let me do lots and lots of things, multimodality, multi-systems. Basically, I had problems deciding. So I thought in the end, well, actually, pediatrics lets you do ultrasound, X-ray, MRI, CT, like lots of modalities, fluoroscopy. And also pediatrics allows you to still do some neuro, some chest, some MSK, some abdomen. And you also get to work with really happy children, and well, mostly happy, but yeah, they're mostly very optimistic, and with really patient colleagues who are just wanting the best for kids and their families. And I also thought it was a huge honor to be able to help not just one person, not just the child or the patient in front of me, but also the whole family, because as you can imagine, they are quite involved in the child's care. And when you help a child, you know, they grow up to be well-functioning, amazing adults who can then go on and be inspired to help others and remember this experience with you, you know? So it's your first chance to make a human being have a hopefully positive healthcare experience to help them, empower them with their health going forwards, and also touch many lives. So that's why I chose pediatric radiology. I know that some people may find children quite scary. I actually find adults quite scary.
Well, I am with you because I during my residency period I attended a lot of examination of in pediatric radiology, and I had very good memories regarding my period in pediatric radiology. I performed a lot of dynamic radiography for their pediatric department in University of Naples, and even the neuroradiology. I had a huge mentor, the same of Felice D'Arco, Alessandra D'Amico, that forged me because she's a tough and very strong strong person. I learned a lot by her and even Felice. The idea of pediatric neuroradiology touched me a lot of time. But I also have to say that there is a small problem that I encountered in my period in Monza, that after the birth of my first son, I have more problems trying to get so close with sick children. So for me, it's better to even now in Legnano, when I perform the session or the pediatric session of MRI, I stay far, and I'm still interested in pediatric radiology and pediatric neuroradiology, but there is this thing about me, but it's just some feelings. In the end, we all are forged by our personal experience, even in the workplace. And I'm starting as a neuroradiologist because I loved the lesson, the lectures in the university, and then a lot of family situations drove me to the neuroradiologist of the adult. But it's really fascinating. I even think that the fetal MRI is even so fascinating, because you are exploring and evaluating the birth of life, like an old ECR motto, the cycle of life. If you
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
2023, it's and it's one of the other important and wonderful thing regarding radiology. We can explore, even in a philosophical matter, the cycle of life, and the motto chosen by Adrian Brady has been amazing regarding that ECR.
Yes, and this is another reason why radiology is so beautiful, because you have so many avenues to go down. So if you have any listeners or audience who are not sure if radiology is for them, I would say it is for everyone, because whatever you want to do, whatever your interests, once you start, you will find an area that really suits your personality, your lifestyle, your skill set, and what you're comfortable with. And also, the beauty of radiology, I find, is that you can have more than one interest, or you can change interests later in life. You know, I have friends who started off wanting to do GI, and then they became more MSK later on because their department needed more MSK support. Whereas I think if you were a surgeon and you were a abdominal surgeon, it's very hard for you then to change to be an ENT surgeon. Whereas for a radiologist, you can do that. I'm not saying it's super easy, but it's definitely not as hard. So it's very
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a colleague in Legnano that started as a neuroradiologist, and now she is a breast radiologist. I think one time I told her, maybe I will in the future perform you an MRI of your brain, just to try to understand the decision to move from neuroradiology to breast radiology. But it's
Wow.
really.
I mean, you know what? In the future with AI, what can you do? Like, you can read people's brains and maybe decide what they should do for a job. I'm not sure. The possibilities are quite endless, aren't they?
Well,
Funny to think like
exactly.
that.
Well, and you just cited AI. I think that in this live we are both of us AI enthusiasts. Please tell us regarding your experience with AI and
Well,
your idea.
Yes, I was first fascinated by it during my fellowship in Canada in Toronto in 2015, when some of the fellows and trainees said that they were doing this project and it was about a computer that would predict chest X-ray diagnoses. And I honestly thought they were joking with me. I thought this was such a unbelievable thing that the computer would be doing our jobs for us. Like, it sounded so strange. So from then on, I started reading more about it, understanding what it is, understanding how it could be used, training myself. It's actually a little bit hard in pediatric radiology because not many AI tools or AI applications are used in children. So for this reason, I started to have to look outside my pediatric radiology group and friends. And that's how I met you, and made friends with lots of people who were very, very clever, who knew about AI outside of pediatric radiology. And then through that, I started getting involved in lots of little projects. We managed in Southwest London with another team to implement a chest X-ray AI tool to look for lung cancer. So it seems strange that a pediatric radiologist is working with AI for lung cancer, but that was one of the projects I was involved with. And then also a lot of projects relating to human AI interaction, responsible and safe AI. And currently I'm working with some PhD students and engineers to develop an AI algorithm for fracture detection on children's X-rays, as well as working with industry partners as well, something I wasn't doing very much before AI. But as you know, there are so many industry partners who want to learn how they can use their tool in clinical practice. And so I've had this new aspect and new perspective on life working with industry, but as a clinician, which I never thought I had before or had opportunity to do. So we are doing some studies together as well. And yes, I really enjoy it. Right now, the big project that I'm working on is a multi-society statement paper with lots and lots of pediatric imaging societies around the world about what kind of things we need to be aware of if we use AI for children, because a lot of AI, like I said, is biased to not use pediatric data and is not applicable to children, but people might not know that, and there could be some harm from that. So we're very keen to make sure it's done responsibly and safely.
Well, I imagine, and it's another place, another field where radiology is beautiful, because as we just noted in the last weekend, we both attended the EUSOMII annual meeting, and the half of the attendees were radiologists, and on the other half are other type of professionals. We are technicians, biomedical engineers, and it has been an amazing experience to share our experiences, clinical and technical, to understand more and to get more inspired on our future research ways, and even for future implementation. And it has been a great experience for me. I even tried to do my token of collaboration with a clinical aspect in the AI contest, and it has been an important experience for all of us, even because sharing and trying to have a place where meet is important, because if the radiologists stay away, even the technician or the engineer, we can do nothing. In these meetings is so important to meet and to share experiences.
Absolutely. And I think to understand how other people think and talk and what their motivation is, and to just have that human connection. I think before I had all of this collaboration, I used to think very much that the engineers and the data scientists don't care about healthcare. They just care about their computers, and maybe industry only care about making money. But actually, the more people I meet and the more people I work with, the more I realize we just want to make the world a better place, and we just have different ways of doing it. And we are all trying to do the same thing on the same team. So it's very important we work together.
Exactly. And talking about the work together, it's important even more in research. You are involved in some projects regarding research in radiology and AI in UK and Europe. Based on your experience, how is important the collaborations between nations, between groups, even in a place like radiology? A lot of colleagues, a lot of residents asked me, but it's so important to do research in radiology. We discover everything, and it's not true.
It's not true. There's still so much to learn. And I think the more you do research, the more you realize you don't know everything, and you have so much more to do. I think international collaboration is so important, partly because we don't have the answers. I think when you only stay in one center, you think this is the way it's always done. This is the only way we can do it. This is how it always has to be. But you don't realize until you speak to other people all the different options, the different ways, the different pathways, the treatments, the different ways people work together. It gives you ideas and inspiration for how to do things differently, and also makes you a bit more open-minded about how you can improve your situation as well. I think sometimes it also gives us a bit more patience with our collaborators, because just knowing that things can be done differently and there's a new way means that we're open to growth and learning as well. If you're always so impatient and you think you know everything, then I think that's when you start to have your downfall, because you stop growing, you stop understanding, you stop expanding your mind. It can be very challenging to do international research, especially because sometimes people are in different time zones, or maybe the language isn't so easy to do, or maybe there's different cultures and you don't understand each other, or you maybe have misunderstandings about how to do things because you expect something and someone else expects something else. But I think that's actually really great for personal growth, and also for just understanding yourself and being more reflective on how do you present yourself, how do you speak, how do you enact with other people. So even outside of research, it's very good for personal growth and development, I think.
Exactly. I grow so much, and I'm still growing by the moment I started to go outside, even just to trying to think outside the box and trying to exit the comfort zone. We are so comfortable in our room, in our reading room. Exit and trying to go into discussion, try to combat our idea if my way to work is the best one and I don't need to improve, is one of the most important fight we have to win. And then sharing our experience, not just because the other experience are better than our, but trying to sharing experience. I learned a lot each time I go to a meeting, and even probably someone learn by me. It's the most important thing that we can do in a meeting. We are sharing our experiences, and everyone will be enriched by the sharing and trying to create a community. In the end, one of the most important part of a meeting is the networking, and to do networking is a way to exit the comfort zone.
I agree. It is scary to network, and it is scary to go to a stranger and start a conversation. But you will be rewarded if you make that a brave step to go forwards, because you never know what friendships and what things you will learn. And one of my fears in life is I don't want to look back and say I have 20 years experience in something, but actually meaning I have 1 year experience repeated 20 times. You actually want to have this 20-year of growth, of like expansion, of betterness, not just I've done this once and then I just continue to do the same thing forever, because that's not experience. That's just being in your box.
Yeah, considering even this attempt of live in with a lot of people is a way for me to exit my comfort zone, and I am so happy, and sometimes also scary, but I'm so happy to trying this new way, even to entertain me, because just reporting, reading examination, it's also a way for me to share what I learned, and try to even involve the people I knew, and even friends in a new experience, trying to get something new.
Oh, absolutely. This
And
is my first time being live streamed as well, so I'm happy to share this experience.
okay, wonderful. So I think it's time to go to the end of this live. For me, it's the first time I made a live in not in Italian, and it's time for me to say thank you, Susie, to be here as a guest. I have been so happy to have you as a first one, hoping to have in the future even other people, and maybe you again for another session. Do you want to say one of the last words regarding this conversation?
Yes, thank you so much for having me on this channel. I'm really honored, and I would be delighted to come back again. It was so much fun, and I really enjoyed our chat.
Wonderful. And as usual, in the next days, you will receive all the watcher of this live. You will noted the next guest. We will come back in Italy, but it's too early to spoiler the person. It's I can say that it's one of my most important mentor in Italy. So let's see. And as usual, from Legnano near Milan and from London, thank you so much for attending this live, and see you next time. Bye bye.